Ian, first of all, we should sort of talk about that first of all. Is there an update from your point of view? Do you have any COVID cases? What's the situation you're in?
Um, at the moment, we're okay, and we're testing on a regular basis. But obviously, that can change on a daily basis. But at the moment, I think we've been quite vigilant to be able to keep on top of, on top of the protocols, and I think the medical team have been quite good with that. So, at the moment we're okay, but seems to be spreading quick. So it's obviously a concern for everybody.
Are these at the moment your protocols, or have you been given specific guidelines from the National League? 'Cause the Premier League and EFL clubs obviously are testing daily now. Have you got any set guidelines, or are you just doing what not to do?
Do you know what we've continued the guidelines that were set early in the summer? We've never kind of broke away from them really. We've been just purely out of best practice. So we've continually been testing, continually filling out COVID app questionnaire every morning. Anybody with symptoms stays away. So we've tried to restrict it where we can. We've gone back to wearing masks inside the buildings, and I think we're trying to follow all of the protocols on point, but we've never really stopped from the back end of last year. We had a lot of testing kits, and we just thought that in general it was best practice to try and stay on top of it. So I think we've kind of had that as a maintenance, right from last season through.
Have you done any extra things, cancelled Christmas parties, given any extra instructions to players about what to do outside of the club or anything like that?
I think we try to trust them to have common sense. I think the players had a Christmas party when we had a break a couple of weeks ago, but we tested every day after that. But there was no fallout from that, which was great. In general, I think the players should try and take responsibility for their own actions, the same as everybody, to try to restrict. But they're human beings; they have to go out and do certain things. Maybe they go out for a dinner, and that's normal. But we try to restrict the possibility of spreading it or catching it, because we want to have as many players available for as many games as possible, and we certainly don't want to fall behind as a result of something that could potentially be avoided by taking good care of ourselves.
You've been doing this seriously and sensibly for a long time, but without the set protocols from the National League, I guess you've no idea what other National League clubs are doing. So is that concerning in the weeks to come as to what sort of safety you're putting what sort of position you're putting yourself into, the players are putting themselves into against other teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we don't know exactly how all the other teams are operating. We operate, I think, in the absolute best way that we can, but we don't know, and we don't know all the protocols that each team follows, which is of course a concern, because if some teams aren't following it in the same way and then we come into contact with them, it can spread to us. But I think we try to trust that everybody's trying to do the best thing in the interests of the game and to keep players safe and to keep each other safe. So I think it's a big concern, not just for football, but in general society, as we kind of feel a bit of deja vu to probably this time last year, and nobody wants to go back to that. So I think we have a responsibility to try to do what we can to avoid getting it, spreading it, and try to stay safe.
How are the players feeling about coming into play, to train, to be around other players at the time, especially when they're seeing games up and down the country being postponed at the moment, day after day?
No, we train well, and we focus. I mean, we can only control a certain element of things that we do. We're trying to be vigilant on the mask wearing, on the testing, and if anybody has symptoms, they stay away, and they have a period off, and that way the rest of us that are in can feel comfortable in what we're doing, and we can just focus on our jobs. And it's important that we have a level of normality with what we're doing, because otherwise I don't think we can do it as well as we want to. So when we're here, we're focused on our jobs. We prepare everything so that we keep everybody safe, and then when we're here, we just focus on doing the job as normal as we possibly can.
Some managers this week have called for a break, just to say 2 weeks, don't play any football for a fortnight and see where we are in early January. Is that something you'd like to see or not?
No, not really. I don't know what will change in 2 weeks' time. I don't see the situation by Notts County not playing a game. I don't see the global situation improving in 2 weeks. I don't. So no, I don't think so. I think we just have to be sensible. I think everybody has to be. If fans have got symptoms, they shouldn't come to the game. They should test. They should stay away, like anything else. And I just think that at the moment, if we can play the games, I think it's really important. I think it's important not just for the context of football, but for general public and people's mental health, that you need to be out there and having an element of normality as well. And as long as people are sensible and managing it in a good way, I personally don't think there's a required need to just suddenly take a break for 2 weeks, because that 2 weeks can quickly turn into a month and then 2 months, and then where do we end up? I don't necessarily see the situation improving within 2 weeks. So if we can manage what we've got right now, that's maybe the best thing.
Let's talk about this weekend then. FA Trophy. Has all the news this week made you think about what team to pick, whether to try and sort of keep more first team players away with next Tuesday in mind, or has it not affected anything in terms of your selection for this weekend?
No, I think with the thought that we have a big game on Tuesday night, I think that means that most likely we'll rotate some players. Some will need a break. Some need to play. So I think it gives us flexibility. We've got pretty much everybody available. So with that in mind, we can rotate, and I think we can still be strong. So yeah, definitely we've got, of course, tomorrow's game against Altrincham and then Tuesday night against Chesterfield, and we've got to balance the two and make sure we get as many fresh players as possible ready for Tuesday night as well. So I'm sure there'll be some rotation this weekend.
It'll be an interesting one, won't it? A Saturday evening kick-off a week before Christmas in the FA Trophy. What sort of atmosphere are you expecting in there?
Quieter than the league games, I think. I think people are probably busy this Saturday night. I'm sure we'll get. We have a loyal set of fans that I'm absolutely sure will be down there, but I don't expect anywhere near a full house. Put it that way. But listen, Saturday night, it's maybe a lot of people are bored of Strictly Come Dancing and they want to get out and watch a bit of Notts County. I don't know if Strictly's still on. I don't know if it's finished. My daughter could probably tell us, but it's still on. All right. Then maybe people are bored of that and they want to get themselves down to Meadow Lane. More entertaining than Strictly. So, yeah, I'm sure there'll be some down there, but it'll certainly be a different atmosphere, I'm sure.
Yeah. Is that something that the players have to sort of get over a bit? Because you're inside Meadow Lane, but potentially there's going to be a very small crowd rattling around, only a stand open for Notts fans and one for Altrincham fans. Is that something for them to try and get past?
Not really. I don't know. I mean, we play so many games without fans at all that I guess even having 1,500 there or whatever it may be is going to be great for us. So I'm sure whatever fans are there will make a good noise, and we're happy to be home in this game. And although it's not ideal to be 7:30 at night, I think the other proposal was playing Sunday, which would have been a disaster for us really based on a Tuesday game. So it's probably the best of a bad situation in terms of when we could have possibly played the game.
And then have you been given any update yet on whether the game against Chesterfield will go ahead? They've obviously pulled out of the FA Trophy in the meantime.
Yeah, we've had contact with the league actually, just speaking in there, and we've had contact from the league, and as far as they're concerned at the moment the game goes ahead, and they don't see any reason at the moment for it not to. But of course that will depend on the number of cases in Chesterfield, the number of available players, and how the possibility of the game looks. I think that we have to be ready that can change, but at the moment we plan for that game to be on, and unless we hear otherwise, which at the moment we haven't heard.
Seems a bit odd, doesn't it, from the outside, that they can pull out of an FA Trophy game but then a few days later still field a team in the National League.
Yeah, I guess it's two different governing bodies and two different decisions, and we can't Yeah, it does seem odd, but at the same time, I think that that decision will come from the league. It won't come from us or Chesterfield. So we just have to wait and respect whatever decision comes and deal with it as soon as it comes through. But at the moment, I've kind of got a plan A, plan B, maybe a plan C for how the weeks are going to look, because I think we need that. But at the moment, we've been told that there's no reason for the game to be off. So I'm going to stick with that and plan that we're playing on Tuesday night.